The air was deathly silent, and the mansion servants didn't dare to breathe. But Qiao Wanyan alone remained calm and composed. Qiao Yuan covered her face in disbelief. It was the first time she'd been hit. But now Qiao Wanyan had the audacity to strike her, so brazen lie in front of outsiders, offering no shred of dignity. Did she truly see her as no different from a servant in this household? Qian, are you all right? It's all my fault for getting you involved. Zhang Qian froze, pulled back to reality by Qiao Yuan's tearful, forbearing voice. His face burned. Qiao Wanyan's. The slap had carried significant force. Zhang Qian's expression darkened. Fine, you hit me, but after seeing you struck Sister Yi Huan today, I will never let you get away with this. Qiao Wanyan scoffed softly, utterly fearless. What can you do? How exactly will you make me pay? You're the young Marquis of Jing'anhu Mansion, and I'm the legitimate daughter of the Shangshu estate. My father is the legitimate son of Eldest, the foremost noble family. What asterisk can asterisk you do to me? What asterisk dare asterisk you do to me? Since childhood, her father had told her she was born to enjoy privilege. She needs only pursue what she pleases. He would handle any trouble she caused. He'd spend half his life striving to ensure his being loved daughter could live a life of unmixed led to freedom. How could the breath rooted in her heart since childhood being shaken by Zhang Qian's empty threats? Zhang Qian's face darkened. You'll regret this. Qiao Wanyan lowered her eyes, sizing him up with an guised mockery. Without a word, she turned to leave. This wordless mockery was the most humiliating. Zhang Qian blocked her path in 3 strides. Since when has the world been so kind? Apologize to Sister Yi Huan, or you're not leaving here today. Qiao Wanyan tilted her head too. Look at the young man before her, then raised her hand and slapped him again. As he froze in shock, she shoved him hard, not even bothering to go around. A good og doesn't block the road. Scram. Ziwan shot him a disdainful look. Asterisk HMM. Satisfied now? He could have ended it with 1 slap, but he had to lean in for another. Lucky him. Asterisk. Qiao Yuan saw Zhang Qian off with guilt and self-blame, silently acknowledging that the only thing Crown Prince could truly help her. After sending Zhang Qian away, she personally escorted Liu Yanyan to a country manor outside the city to stay temporarily. Inside the manor, Wuxi frowned and snapped. These are gifts sent by the Crown Prince. How dare you 2 wretches treat them so disdainfully? Tomorrow, I'll have Yuan tell the Crown Prince to execute you both for your insolence. Qiao Yuan paused before pushing the door open, recognizing her birth mother's voice. She glanced at Liu Yanyan beside her, embarrassed and ashamed, but she couldn't help it. This was the woman who had given birth to and raised her. Everyone else could criticize her mother, but she could not. Liu Yanyan showed no sign of mockingbird. In the novel, the heroine's birth mother was a shallow, ignorant woman. She harbored no genuine affection for her daughter, seeing her only as a tool to secure a prosperous life, to escape servitude. She had slept with the heroine's father to become the Crown Prince's mother-in-law. She had urged the heroine to seduce and sleep with him, following in her own footsteps. Thankfully, the heroine had strong morals and refused. Mother, what are you doing? Nanny Zhu and Nanny Zhou serve you diligently. How can you speak to them like that? At the sight of her daughter, Wuxi immediately be aimed and rushed over. My precious girl, you finally have time to visit me. How have you been? Has the Crown Prince been kinder to you? Has he mentioned when he'll marry you as Crown Princess? Qiao Yuan felt awkward. Only then did Wuxi notice Liu Yanyan. Who is this girl? Mother, this is my friend, Yanyan. She has no place to stay in the capital, so it thought she could stay temporarily here. Wuxi sized her up rudely. Friend? What kind of friend? Yihuan. Let me warn you, don't take every random woman as a friend. Beware they might use you to climb close to the crown prince. Qiao Yihuan frowned. Mother, what are you saying? Yanyan isn't that kind of person. Nanny Zhu, would you please prepare a room for my friend? Nanny Zhu nodded. Yes, eldest miss. Zhao Ying said, Miss Liu, follow me. I'll help you settle in. Only then did Qiao Yuan take. Wu Xishan entered the room, fearing she would embarrass her further in front of others. Yihuan, how has the crown prince been treating you recently? Before you returned from Yangzhou, he sent so many gifts. Oh, what a promising son-in-law. You mustn't let your guard down. With ashiming rivals in the family, and now a good-looking friends. Why was her daughter so careless? Qiao Yihuan said softly. I'm in his heart. Don't worry, mother. How could Wuxi rest easy? The entire capital was whispering that the little slut had saved the crown prince and would sure lie, become crown princess. How could she sit idly by? Listen to me. You should sleep with the crown prince as soon as possible. Like me, even if I can live in the Shangshu estate openly, you're still recognized as a young lady. The process doesn't matter, only the result does. Men were all the same. If she could live in the mansion, would the master still dote on that bitch Jinxi? Polygamy was common, but Jinxi was jealous and clung to the master alone. Qiao Yuan's face flushed. Mother, stop. His Highness loves me and will marry me. Yanyan had also said she was the protagonist of this world, and everything would revolve around her. She would definitely become crown princess and then empress. All obstacles would be cleared by others without her lifting a fingers. Wuxi grew annoyed at her lack of ambition. Useless girl. If I'd born a son, would I need to worry about this? Even a common-born son of the Qiao family would leave me nameless and statusless. In this manner, if not for the crown prince taking notice of you, that bitch Jinxi would've married you off casually long ago. Hurry up and become crown princess, so you can take me out of here. I'm sick of this life. Once you're crown princess, I'll make sure that bitch Jinxi can swagger in front of me ever again. In the future, she would be the crown prince mother in a law. What was Jinxi compared to that? Even the master would have to treat her with respect. Qiao Yihuan said, don't worry, mother, I will definitely take you out. Wuxi gave her a disdainful look. All talk, no action. It's been so long, and still no progress. Fine. Since you Ray useless, I'll teach you. If you won't take risks, at least eliminate those blocking your path. Mother, I don't understand what you mean. Wuxi lowered her voice. Find someone too. Ruin that little slut Qiao Wanyan chastity. Then she'll never marry the crown prince. She'll be death-beast even if she marries Epic Butcher. If you reign not ruthless, you'll never secure your position. Qiao Yuan's eyes widened in disbelief, shocked that her mother could propose such asham. No, I can't do that. Useless. Wuxi snapped. If you don't act, that little slut will marry the crown princess and tramples all over you. Do you think men are all hopeless romantics? Especially in the royal family. Do you really expect him to have only one wife and no concubines? He might want to, but he can't withstand external pressure. Qiao Yuan stood up. I trust His Highness, and I want Tidio such aiding. If you have nothing else, Mother, I'll be going. With that, she turned and left. On the way back, Zhao Ying noticed her low mood and suggested stopping at Adia House for tea and pastries. Kiao Yi Huan nodded and followed her to a bustling tea house. Let me tell you, the Kiao family's second miss was born with a silver spoon, the most noble lady in the capital, and original net beauty. She was born to enjoy luxury. Tell me about it. I don't know why the crown prince took affinity to the Kiao family's common a born daughter. She must have some seductive tricks up her sleeve. I heard her mother slept her way into the house held to bear children, like mother, like daughter, right? If not for her mother, Minister Kiao would be married the only daughter of the royal merchant long ago. The group laughed heartily. Kiao Yi Huan's face turned deathly pale. Just this morning, I saw the crown prince, Prince Jing, and second Miss Kiao at the entrance of Mingyu Tower. Guess what I witnessed? The crowd leaned in, eager for gossip. The man preened, exaggerating wildly. Most people didn't dare get close, but I was lucky. No one chased me away. It hard. Prince Jing threatening to take revenge on second Miss Zhou. But then the crown prince swooped in to save her like a hero. What? Is that true? Kiao Yi Huan stood up so abruptly that her chair fell over with a harsh crash. The crowd turned to look, but seeing a strange woman, they lost interest and returned to their gossip, which only grew more exaggerated. In the evening, Yan Yao finally recovered and began packing. This is amazing. My brother has definitely never seen this. I'll take it to show him. I'll also bring these osmanthus cakes. Uncle Zhang can make them this delicious. And this too. They would depart for Yashi Valley the day after. Tomorrow, though Yan Yao loved exploring the outside world, the thought of going home excited her. She wanted to bring her brother all the curious things she'd seen and shared her favorite treats with him. But she was also afraid he might scold her for running away from home. Sister Ayan, why don't I write you a note? You can take it to Yashi Valley to find my brother. I'm a little scared to go back. Yun Yao pouted, looking terrified. Kiao Wanyan said gently, Yun Yao, you've been away from home so long, and your brother still doesn't even know where you are. He must be worried sick. Family is the closing street. Things you have. Can you bear to let your brother suffer sleepless nights and lose his appetite from worrying about you? Yun Yao shook her head. No, I can't. Kiao Wanyan stroked her hair. I'll help you persuade him. Asterisk, if the little girl doesn't go. How can I meet Yan Heng? Asterisk. A Reno-Ned genius physician. Befriending such a capable person would be like gaining extra lives for the future. She remembered how in later years, when the crown prince was poisoned during a visit to a neighboring country, no doctor could cure him until Kiao Yi Huan summoned Yan Heng. Even the empress, who had opposed Kiao Yi Huan as crown princess, had reluctantly approved afterwards. The morning of departure, the entire capital was shrouded in a thin layer of icy frost, with silvery ice crystals from the night, as frosting creating a dreamlike scenes. When He Ziyu's carriage arrived at the Shangshu estate, 2 carriages were already waiting at the gate, Kiao Wanyan's and Kiao Yi Huan's. Just then, Kiao Yi Huan emerged. Seeing He Ziyu, she immediately smiled and stepped forward. Your Highness. Her voice was soft and gentle, paired with a delicate, an expression that harms less, instinctively inspired affection. He Ziyu nodded. Why are you dressed so lightly? You are already in poor health. What if you catch a cold? Kiao Yi Huan felt a warmth in her heart. Thank you for your concern. Your Highness, I'm fine. Where is your sister? It's getting late. We should depart. Kiao Yi Huan looked back. I'm not sure, but she should be here soon. Should we go and hurry her? Before He Shi-yu could reply, Ziwon rushed over with a hand warmer towards one of the carriages. Upon opening the door, she let out a scream, drawing everyone's attention. He Shi-yu strode over. "What's happening?" Ziwon stared in disbelief. "Miss is gone." After speaking, she looked around and realized Lu Jiani had also vanished. Panic surged through her. She read. Something terrible had been fallen on her mistress. He Shi-yu frowned. "How can someone just vanish?" Ziwon said anxiously. "So she waited in the carriage early. The hand warmer was cold, so I went to the mansion to fetch a new one. When I returned, she was gone." "Zhang, where is Miss?" The coachman looked confused. "I don't know. I just went to feed the horses some fodder when it came back. There were no strangers around. I have no idea where Miss went," Ki Ao Yi-hwan said. And the coachman was away too. Who would dare kidnap Wanyan right outside the Shengshu estate? Yan Yao emerged with her bag and saw the serious expressions. She stepped closer. "Why aren't we leaving? What's happening?" Ki Ao Yi-hwan gently explained, and Yun Yao immediately grew anxious. Jin Yuan discovered a strange hidden weapon in Kiao Wanyan's carriage. He pulled it out and examined it. Yun Yao froze, then snatched it up and studied it closely. "This is a four-leaf clover." "What's a four-leaf clover?" Ki Ao Yi-hwan asked. Yun Yao's face paled. It saw a hidden weapon. "From Yashi Valley, Sister Ayan was kidnapped by my brother. A unique herbal fragrance, a blend of countless medicinal herbs, filled her nostrils, rich, mellow, and soothing." Kia Wanyan slowly lifted her eyelids, sitting up abruptly the moment her eyes opened. She scanned her surroundings for War Illy, recognizing nothing. Crackling charcoal burned on the pale green stone tiled floor. The room was sparsely furnished but exquisitely elegant, though warm it held an empty chill, as if rarely occupied. Kia Wanyan turned to the burner on the incense. Bedside table emanated from the medicinal scent, there unlike the pungent aroma of herbal pharmacies. This fragrance inexplicably calm at her restless heart. She looked down at her clothes. The Eastern ivory and skirt Ziwan had chosen for her that morning. Slipping on her shoes, she approached the door, just as her hand touched at the carved wood end panel. It swung open from the outside. A cool breeze swept in, making Kia Wanyan gasp and shrink back slightly. Her magnificent peach blossom eyes blinked as she studied the young man before her. He glanced at her, blushed, and quickly lowered his head. "Why, you're awake, dressed in ordinary attire." He was likely a servant here. Kia Wanyan recalled being kidnapped from her carriage by a masked man wielding knockout drugs. Whoever had done this was brazen to kidnap her right outside the Shangshu estate. This place felt more like a hidden paradise than Aiden of its band. Asterisk who had kidnapped her. Asterisk. "What's your name?" she asked. I'm Chang'an." Kia Wanyan pressed gently Chang'an. "Can you tell me where this is? Who is your master? May I meet him?" Chang'an shook his head. "Just tell me. I'll prepare it for you." He trotted away but lingered, peeking around the courtyard corner at her. Raised in Yaoshi Valley, he had only ever seen two women, Nanny Zhang and his young miss. Kiao Wanyan was like a goddess descending from the moon, too beautiful to touch even in dreams. The voice was as gentle as a stream, carrying warmth to his heart. She watched him peek for a long time, then turned back inside when she realized he would share information. The carved door shut out his gaze, and Chang'an retreated disappointed. Chang'an read her dinner and prepared hot bath water. After eating and bathing, Kia Wanyan sat on the bed in a new set of clothes, feeling faintly disdainful. The fabric was new, but not shoe brocade. Decent, but far inferior to her usual attire. Night fell and she still didn't know her kidnappers' identities. She slept soundly and rose at dawn. Chang'an was now here to be seen, wrapping himself in Athig fox fur cape. She wandered southward by instinct, only to hit the dead end. She cursed under her breath and turned north. After a quarter of an hour, she planted her hands on her hips and snapped. What kind of hellhole is this? Every path led to a dead end. Asterisk who designed this maze? Asterisk. Kia Wanyan usually never lost. Was thoroughly turned around. She couldn't find her way back to the courtyard or the master's quarters. Surrounded by plum blossoms, she was clearly in a plum garden. But no matter how she wandered, she couldn't escape. Asterisk great. Asterisk she'd be stuck admiring plum blossoms all day and like life frozen to death that night. Meanwhile, Chang'an rushed to Tingyu Pavilion and bowed anxiously. Young master. The young lady has wandered into the plum garden. The man called young master pored over a medical text. His jade white robes like moonlight carrying mist from a fairy mountain. His porcelain, pale skin and delicate profile were framed by deep eyes as cold as millennia, frozen ice. Detached from the world, young master? Chang'an ventured when there was no response. Silence. Chang'an knew better than to interrupt his. Master was deeply absorbed. In his reading, he stood by anxious. The plum garden was a maze, a high-level puzzle set by the late master. Even valley residents avoided it, for none but the young master and his sister knew the way out. Without them, the goddess-like woman might never escape. Finally, after a stick of incense, Yunheng closed his book and turned to Chang'an. His inka black hair was tied with a mutton-fat jade hairpin, stray strands softening his otherworldly aura. What is it? Chang'an repeated his message. Yunheng dismissed it with Anid. I see. Chang'an added young master. If we leave her there, she'll freeze to death in this weather. Yunheng replied coolly. I haven't finished reading a book yet. She won't if ego at night. Chang'an clicked his tongue. This was typical of his mastered, brilliant physician. But saving lives depended on mood. Yunheng had searched endless for his sister, who'd run away from the valley, only recently had. His subordinate Chang'an spotted her at the Shangshu estate in the capital. His sister knew no martial arts, but was a poison master. Sending Chang'an to fetch her would only end it in failure. She'd just drugged him and vanished. Hence, Yunheng had ordered Chang'an to kidnap the Shangshu's daughter, leaving a four-leaf clover hidden, weapons to lure his sister back. Chang'an had barely managed to kidnap the girl during raring moments of solitude. Yunheng cared little for the Shangshu's daughter, only for his medical texts. Otherwise, he wouldn't they've left her lost in the plum garden. Chang'an sighed inwardly. His master cared for no one but books. He'd probably marry them someday. Yunheng reached for a book on the top shelf, then paused. His hand hung in mid-air before retracting. Fine. He headed for the plum garden. Plum trees stood in neat rows, blossoms like red dots in snow. Their fragrance is refreshing. He spotted crouching under a figure. Distant tree, clad in a white fox fur cape. She blended into the snow, her back to him. Face hidden, he approached expressionlessly. Snow crunching underfoot. She didn't turn. I'll take you out. His tone matched his hollow of appearance, indifferent. Kia Wanyan looked up at him from her crouch. For a moment, Yunheng's mind went blank. His deep pupils were filled with her celestial beauty. As he stared, she studied him in turn. Handsome, but she knew better than to judge by appearance. She herself could feign innocence, but her nature was far from pure. Yun Heng reached to help her up, but she swiftly pulled a jade hair, pinned from her hair, and aimed it at him, her small face taut with fear and vigilance. He glanced at the hairpin. The weapon posed no threat. Asterisk defensive yet fragile. Asterisk that was. His first impression of her, beautiful, pitiful, like a delicate flower easily snapped. "I'll take you out," he repeated flatly. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but cold. Hours in the snow had numbed her limbs, her face pale. "Who are you? Are you the master here? Why did you kidnap me?" 3 questions, met with silence. He saw Meds, both red by the need to explain. "I'll take you out," he insisted, as if his only goal was to return to his books. Kia Wanyan paused. Asterisk, was he the reclusive, EC-centric brother of Yun Yao from the storybooks? Asterisk, asterisk, if so, why kidnap her? Asterisk. Her expression fell, then brightened with a misty, tearful gaze, vulnerable yet radiant, like a divine figure from a scroll. Yun Heng's obsidian eyes flickered, seeing her tears. He instinctively reached to wipe them, stopping mere inches from her skin. "Don't cry." "Who are you?" she quavered. Asterisk, men like weakness. Asterisk, she'd learned from Kiao Yi Huan that most men, unlike He Yanli, were swayed by tears. "I am Yun Heng. This is your Oshi Valley." As expected. But why kidnap her when she was already en route? Did he not know she was coming? "You look unwell from the cold. I'll take you out first," he said, turning to lead the way. When she didn't follow, he glanced back. "My feet are numb. I can't walk." He hesitated, then scooped at her into his arms and carried her towards the exit. Chang'an stood outside, eyes widening at the sight. Asterisk, his master, who had a pathological cleanliness obsession, was holding someone. Asterisk, he don't burn a robe touched Ed by his servants and washed his hands hundreds of times a day. Yet here he was, carrying Kia Wanyan. Chang'an rubbed his eyes. Stunned. Asterisk, they look good together. Asterisk, though no one deserved her. Yun Heng was the closest match. Asterisk, mortals couldn't compare to a goddess. Asterisk. Yun Heng deposited her gently on the bed in her room and left abrupt lie, offering no explanation for the kidnapping. Kia Wanyan, asterisk, truly a strange man, asterisk. Chang'an sighed, asterisk, watching his master's retreating figures, asterisk, even a goddess could cure his cleanliness. He's probably gone to wash his hands, or bathing and changing, asterisk. Yun Heng hurried back to Tingyu Pavilion. Slamming the door shut, he leaned against the door frame with one hand, trying to steady the unfamiliar, emotions surging through him. He touched his earlobe, feeling the scorching heat there. Striding to the bronze mirror, he watched his pale skin flush rapidly and immediately reached to check his pulse. Asterisk, why was his heart racing so violently? Asterisk. Asterisk, why did his face feel as if it were on fire? Yun Heng suddenly recalled the miser ably charming figure of the young woman in the plum garden. He clutched his chest, breathing rapidly. Asterisk, what was happening? Asterisk. Asterisk, why did it feel like he couldn't catch his breath? Asterisk, he was ill, gravely ill, with a terminal disease he had never been diagnosed before. In the misty formations of Yaoshi Valley, Lu Jiani had wandered for 3 days without finding the entrance. That day, he had seen someone kidnap Kia Wanyan and could easily have stopped them initially. He had intended to. But when he saw the 4-leaf clover hidden weapons on the carriage, he instantly recognized it as a weapon from Yaoshi Valley and knew the kidnappers must be from there, possibly even Yun Heng, the world arena Ned medical genius. and current master of Yaoshi Valley. He had followed secretly, intending to find the valley's entrance, confronting Yun Hang, and obtain the antidote to the goo, poison administered by the arena. Lu Jiani was confident he could prevail. Against anyone, even if numbered out, he could precisely lie threaten Yun Hang into handing over the antidote. Once he found Yun Hang, obtaining the antidote would be no problem. He could then hold a sword to Yun Hang's neck, leave Yaoshi Valley, and take Qia Wanyan with him, not to save her, but to torture her slowly and make her pay foreigner, touring Adiger that bites the hand that feeds it. But the biggest problem was that although he had followed the masked man into the valley, he had suddenly lost track. Meanwhile, Heezy Yu was hurrying towards the valley with Yun Yao as their guide, taking a direct route. They should have arrived within 3 days, but Qi Aoyi Huan's lingering. The poison had caused a high fever, forcing them to delay. Inside the carriage, Qi Aoyi Huan frowned as she drank a bowl of pitch black medicinal soup. Wrapping herself in a blanket, she said guiltily, "It's all my fault. My poor health is holding everyone back. Your Highness, please go ahead without me." Her voice was filled with guilt and anxiety, but Heezy Yu could impossibly abandon her when she looked so deathly pale. "Don't think like that. How could I leave you behind?" Qiao Yihuan clutched the edge of her blanket tightly, but Wanyan has been pendant. "I'm so worried." Heezy Yu's eyes darkened. He was shocked to learn from Yun Yao that her brother was the divine physician of Yaoshi Valley, and that Yun Hang was not a compassionate physician as parent to all types. Yun Yao was worried about what might happen to Qiao Wanyan, kidnapped for no apparent reason. And so was he. He had misunderstood Qiao Wanyan and made her suffer, now, alone and vulnerable. She must be longing for him to rescue her. After a long grave silence, He-Shi said, "You right. Yi Huan, I'll leave Jinyuan and a physician, too. Care for you. Wanyan Zafadi is uncertain. She's my savior and the daughter of a high-ranking minister. It must ensure her safety." Qiao Yihuan's pupils constrict, Ted in shock at his words. Asterisk, what did he mean? Asterisk. Was he saying he would abandon her? Gravely ill and feverish. To find Qiao Wanyan, reacting on instinct, she grabbed his sleeve. "Your Highness," He-Shi said gently, "don't worry. I know you care about your sister. I'll do everything in my power to find her and bring her back to you unharmed." Qiao Yihuan felt a bitter lump in her throat. That wasn't what she meant in that moment. She realized clearly that she was no longer the only one in his heart. He would abandon anyone but her. He would wrong anyone but her. But now, she was no longer the sole exception. In the past, even if Qiao Wanyan's life hung in the balance, he would have stayed by her side to care for her during a serious illness. Never once. Considering going to Qiao Wanyan, His Highness was not the type to care for all women. Only those who entered his heart received special treatment. So when she was the special one, she had never read any woman, even Qiao Wanyan, 1,000 times more beautiful. Her grip on his sleeve tightened as he stepped out of the carriage, leaving her hands empty in mid-air. She stared at it numbly, a chill spreading through her chest. That coldness threatened to drown her in icy water. Tears fell one by one as she bit her lower lips so hard it left marks. Refusing to let go, her slender shoulders trembled as she watched Heezy Yu's retreating back through the window. He didn't have him take the carriage. He rode a horse, clearly anxious to leave. Liu Yanyan's seas grew moist seeing her cry so helplessly. She climbed into the carriage and held her, gently rubbing her back. "Yi Huan, Kia Wanyan once saved the crown prince if she died. He'd been at a difficult position with Minister Kiao. The officials would impeach him. He has no choice. You must understand. As someone who had read countless novels, Liu Yanyan knew understandings between myths. The male and female leads were normal. Though the plot had diverged from the novel, the heroine would always end up with the hero. Asterisk those in high places bow for love. Asterisk. They may have everything, but they kneel only for the heroine. Even if there were setbacks, they were just seasoning. A love story for the future. But Yi Huan didn't that no matter the process, she would ultimately triumph. So for now, Liu Yanyan could only comfort her. Crying seemed to ease her pain, and Kiao Yi Huan gradually calmed down. Yes, she was destined to be crowned princess. She should be magnanimous, not let His Highness see her as petty and jealous. What if Kiao Wanyan gained his pity once? She could afford to bestow this once. Yun Heng could end sleep all night. When he woke the next morning, deep circles underscored his eyes. Shocked Chang'an when he entered. Young masters, are you all right? His master had always kept regular hours, sleeping at night and rising at dawn. Now he sat on the bed looking lost, as if a demon had stolen his soul. Yun Heng raised his deep, clear eyes to look at him. Fet thepira helid lit. Chang'an blinked confused. Asterisk, what was going on so early in the morning? Asterisk. Though utterly perplexed, Chang'an retrieved the pills and prepared a cup of warm water for him to take them. After swallowing the pills, Yun Heng said nothing. He dressed, went to the pharmacy, and took out 2 small jars. To Chang'an's astonishment, he emptied both jars, one of pure heart pills, the other of calm mind pills. Chang'an wanted to ask, asterisk, what's wrong with you, young master? Asterisk, but dared not. His master seemed abnormal, possessed by a demon. If he spoke, he might end up as medicine himself. Yun Heng opened a hidden compartment, took out a small bottle, and set it aside. Then he picked up a pen and wrote something on paper. Chang'an watched his non-stop actions in shock, wondering what was in the bottle and why he had written 2 pages before taking its contents. Suddenly, Yun Heng clutched his head in pain, then fainted. Chang'an shouted, "Young master, ignorant of pharmacology." Chang'an struggled to carry him to bed before fetching Uncle Zhang. Uncle Zhang, what's wrong with young master? Uncle Zhang pursed his lips, glanced at the paper Chang and mentioned, and understood after a careful reading. It's nothing serious. He's poisoned by auto shin. That could either be fatal or grant absolute happiness. Chang'an. The words made sense, but he couldn't grasp the meaning. Don't worry, he took Amamori lost drugs. It only erases events and people he's encountered in the past few months. He's written down half of what's important. When he wakes, just show him these 2 pages. Chang'an was skeptical. Half of what's important? He picked up the papers and saw his master had written about his sister sneaking out of Yashi Valley and the formula for the twins. The antidote he had recently developed. Many things were listed, but there was no mention of the Shangshu Estate's young lady. Chang'an scratched his head confused. Kiao Wanyan dared not wander freely. Yashi Valley was full of mazes. Without a guide, she might get lost again, like the other day. Being found was one thing, but freezing to death in the cold was another. Moreover, she hadn't encountered a single person during her previous outings, suggesting the valley had few residents. It was better not to take risks. Chang'an delivered Red both breakfast and lunch. As he was about to leave after setting the food, Kiao Wanyan called out to him, Is something wrong? Chang'an stammered, daring not to meet her gaze. Kia Wanyan's gentle, frail, and harmless tone, combined with her stunning beauty, instinctively disarmed others. "I've been here for days and feel so bored. Could you take me for a walk?" His brain told him to refuse. His master disliked D, strangers wandering the valley. But his mouth acted first. "All right." When she smiled, the room seemed to brighten. Chang and blushed deeply, turned his head and said awkwardly, "Tea then, let's go." Lacking romantic instincts, Chang-on didn't wear women like DTO go, so he took her to the pharmacy, his usual haunting. His master was resting and reading in Tingyu Pavilion as usual. He wouldn't come here anytime soon, so it was safe for the Shang Shu's daughter to explore. The pharmacy was spacious, with rare medicinal herbs drying in the courtyard. From afar, the strong scent of herbs mixed with the cold air, creating a soothing, grounding atmosphere. Kia Wanyan immediately spotted butterfly grass, haphazardly stacked on a shelf. "Isn't that butterfly grass?" Her voice rose in disbelief, appalled by Yaoshi Valley's wastefulness. This herb was unobtainable in the capital. Her merchant grandfather had spent 1,000 taels of gold to buy 1 ounce after a raring encounter. No wonder it fetched a high price. It was precious and highly effective. She had grounded it into powder and mixed it into her face powder, leaving her skin exceptionally smooth. To justify using it, she had socialized daily with noble ladies, pretending to be shy when they praised her skin and claiming she never used cosmetics. Hearing naturally beautiful and so envious had made her glow with pride. Now this precious herb was treated like weeds in Yashi Valley. Her heart ached. Chang-on shrugged. "Oh, that? It's not very useful. Just makes skin smooth. Uncle Zhang uses it in Aunt Jang's body powder. Otherwise, young master would throw it away for taking up space." Kia Wanyan. Asterisk, these damned people are trashing my treasure. Asterisk, so beautiful like a fairy. A woman approached, staring at Kia Wanyan in wonder. How can someone be this gorgeous? Look at those big eyes and small noses. Delicate lips. Adorable. Kia Wanyan nodded politely. "You flatter me, elder sister." The woman blinked, then burst into laughter, tears streaming down her face. "Haha. Chang-on, did you hear what she called me? GG. Ha 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 ha." Kia Wanyan took a silent steps back. Asterisk, what kind of bizarre place is this? Asterisk. The woman walked away still laughing, her voice echoing in the distance. Long after she disappeared, Chang-on said, "Missing that woman earlier was Aunt Zhang. I mentioned the one. She's already 49. This year, she uses the beauty powder, grounded from butterfly grass every day, which is why she looks much younger." Kia Wanyan. That woman had looked at most 26 or 27. How could she be 49, Chang-on? "Can you sell me some of that butterfly grass? I'll pay any price," Chang-on thought. Asterisk, this herb is the most despy things in Yaoshi Valley, but now it's suddenly in demand. Asterisk. "Follow me, miss." He led her to the warehouse behind the pharmacy and pointed to the medicine boxes on 3 northern shelves. The back mountain of Yaoshi Valley grows plenty of it. Uncle Zhang digs and dries it every early autumn to store. Take as much as you want, no need to pay. The back mountain was full of it, besides Uncle Zhang using it for Aunt Jang's body powder. No one else bothered with it. Kia Wanyan approached the shelves and looked at the dried butterfly grass in dozens of medicine boxes. Feeling heartache, leaving it here was like burying a pearls in the dust. "Who are you?" A cold, otherworldly voice sounded. Kia Wanyan turned towards the door and saw Yun Heng standing there, looking at her indifferently. When had he arrived? She frowned, sensing something was off. Yesterday, Yun Heng's gaze towards her had held a faint softness, but today he looked at her like a complete strangers, with total indifference. Yes, asterisk indifference asterisk, the kind one, shows two unimportant strangers, requiring no trace of goodwill. Kia Wanyan said, "You had me kidnapped here, yet you ask who I am?" Yun Heng frowned slightly. Chang'an immediately stepped forward to whisper in his ear. The frown on Yun Heng's face then eased. Without offering any explanation, he turned and left. Asterisk, so she was just an unimportant person. Asterisk. Yun Heng entered the pharmacy and looked at the antidote pills he had developed a few days ago. Feeling completely indifferent for some reason, he now felt like a monk in pure cultivation, devoid of desires or attachments to anything in the world. Kia Wanyan watched his ray, treating back through the window, suddenly tempted to set his pharmacy on fire. Noticing her displeasure, Chang'an quickly stepped forward to explain. "Don't be angry, miss. Our young master didn't meant to forget you. This morning, he suddenly took a whole jar of pure heart pills and calm mind pills, then a pills that causes short-term memory loss. He only forgot you because the medicine took effect." Kia Wanyan's expression shifted. "A memory loss drug?" Chang'an nodded. "Yes. Young master developed it half a year ago. It makes people forget memories from the past few months before taking the medicine. He wrote down many important things from these months, but it seems he forgot to mention why you're in Yaoshi Valley." Kia Wanyan's eyes narrowed slightly, a mocking smile curving her lips. As Chang'an was about to escort Kia Wanyan back, they ran into Aunt Zhang, who volunteered Red to take over the task. Chang'an returned to the pharmacy. "Young master." Yun Heng didn't look up, his jade-like fingers gently rubbing the medicinal herbs in a wooden box on the shelf. He crushed them slightly and sniffed at the aroma. His cold, otherworldly face held no warmth, as if he was interested in nothing but the medicinal herbs and medical texts before him, wanting no involvement with the rest of the world. "Where is Ayao now?" Chang'an immediately replied. "Chang'ing sent news this morning. She should arrive tomorrow morning." Yun Heng was silent for a moment. "Change the maze outside Yaoshi Valley." Chang'an was startled. "But young master, if we change the maze, the young miss won't find the entrance." The young master had been anxious since his sister Snoozy came out of Yaoshi Valley, even sending Chang'ing to search for her. Now that they'd finally found her and even kidnapped the Shangshu's daughter as a precaution, why change the maze to block her? Now that she was about to return, Yun Heng turned, his elegant crane-like silhouette emanating a chill. She deserves Allison for leaving Yaoshi Valley without permission, since she cared so much about the Shangshu's daughter and was rushing back for her. She could learn her lesson outside the valley. Chang'an replied, "Yes, young master." As Chang'an turned to leave, he suddenly heard his master add, "Don't let asterisk that woman asterisk wander freely. I didn't want to see strangers." Outside Liu Guang Pavilion, Chang'an instantly knew who he meant. "Don't worry, young master. I'll keep an eye on her." Yun Heng nodded slightly. "Give her the yuking pill we prepared earlier. When we let Ayao in 3 days, send asterisk that woman asterisk away. Yaoshi Valley kidnapped her without reason, but we won't leave her unrecompensed. After giving her the yuking pill, Yaoshi Valley will have no further ties with her." Chang'an wasn't surprised by his master swords. He had always been indifferent and aloof. The only shred of tenderness he showed was for his younger sister, but most of his patience and attention were reserved for medical texts. Chang'an took the yuking pill to Liu Guang Pavilion and handed it to Kia Wanyan. Miss, this is the yuking pill, an antidote that can neutralize all poisons due to the rare herbs used. Even Yaoshi Valley can't make a second one. This is the only one in the world. As compensation for kidnapping you here, Kia Wanyan's scales drop too. The small bottle, what is this? Am I being treated like a beggars to be dismissed casually? I've been here for 2 or 3 days and still don't know why I'm here. No one has explained anything or told me when Aiken left. Does Yaoshi Valley, located within Daewoo's borders, simply disregard the law? Chang'an froze, not expecting the gentle and harmless looking Miss to be so striking when angry. Yes, the young master was too much. He hadn't explained or apologized. Just left her here. Asterisk, what a jerk. Asterisk. Kia Wanyan said coldly. I want to see Yan Hang, Chang'an replied. I'll go inform young master right away. Miss, please wait a moment. Chang'an returned quickly, looking embarrassed. Miss, young master says he's busy. He also said if one yuking pill is attentive, you can take any herbs from Yaoshi Valley, as long as you stay quietly in Yaoshi Valley for a few days. In other words, asterisk, don't bother him, asterisk. He kidnapped her by force. But now she was a bother? Kia Wanyan's expression darkened. Fine, I'll definitely stay quietly in Yaoshi Valley for a few days. Chang'an shived red involuntary lie at her tone. Outside Yaoshi Valley, Lu Jinyi's mood had grown increasing. Life failed over the past few days. He had envisioned a perfect plan, but he never expected to wander outside Yaoshi Valley for days without finding the entrance. Asterisk gets over before it even began. Asterisk. Dozens of meters away, tiny specks of light suddenly rose into the air. Lu Jinyi looked over and walked towards them without hesitation. Yun Yao squatted by the campfire, warming her slightly chubby hands. From recent good meals, the cold breath the exhaled was lessened by the fire's warmth. Ziyu-an said anxiously, You said it was closed. Why are we stopping to rest? Can't you just go to Yaoshi Valley and rest there? She still didn't know how Miss was doing. Although, it was Yun Yao's brother who had kidnapped her. She couldn't rest easy. Yun Yao explained Sister Ziyu-an. It's not that I didn't want to take you there, but the maze outside Yaoshi Valley can only be navigated during the day. At night, the visibility is poor, and I can't find the entrance. Ziyu-an slumped onto a nearby stone, then quickly stood up and crouched Ed by the fire again. Asterisk, damn it, that stone was freezing. Asterisk. Ziyu rested in the carriage instead of staying outside the valley. Kiao Yihuan had insisted on following despite her illness. Yanyan had said the divine physician Yun Hang would fall for her and eventually leave the valley to save the crown prince, which would make the empress approve their marriage. Even if it was just a possibility, she couldn't afford to miss it. Kiao Yihuan stood by the carriage window with a bowl of ginger soup. Your Highness, I made this ginger soup. It's a cold winter night. Please drink it to warm up. Shiyu immediately opened the window, got out of the carriage, and draped his cloak over her. You still have a cold. Why did you insist on making ginger soup for me? Kiao Yihuan lowered her eyes. I worry about you. Your Highness, I'm happy to do anything for you. Shiyu sighed and took the soup. You always think of others but neglect yourself. Liu Yanyan approached Crown Prince. Yihuan almost burned her hand making this soup for you. Our feelings for you are sincere, unlike those who pretend. Shiyu glanced at her but said nothing. Kiao Yihuan said softly, Yanyan, don't talk nonsense. Liu Yanyan pouted, but it's true. She smiled and added, I'll leave you two to talk. Kiao Yihuan said apologetically, Your Highness. Yanyan likes to joke. please don't mind. He she you said calmly Yi Huan. You will be my crown princess. The people you associate with should be noble ladies, even if not from aristocratic families. Common women are free, spirited, but they reign not suitable for important occasions. Qiao Yihuan was taken aback, but Yan Yan is my good friend. She's more like a sister to me than Amber friend. Seeing her reaction, he Vu changed the subject. Just suggestions. You may associate with whoever you like. Qiao Yihuan smiled brightly. You're so good to me, Your Highness. Qiao Wanyan only led with the Ming, daughters of high-ranking officials, whose conversations revolved around expensive silk fabrics or new jewelry, all about comparing, showing off, and stepping on others to climb higher. But she preferred to be friends, powerless common women, enjoying genuine relationships without intrigue, just as the crown prince likes her for being gentle, kind, and free from competition. Even though he had just suggested she associates with noble ladies, he would likely see her as no different from Qiao Wanyan and the others if she did. Asterisk only a white cloth in 80 vat can be seen as unique by the crown prince. Asterisk. Lu Jiani overheard enough to realize that the divine physician of Yashi Valley was Yan Yao's brother. Asterisk, if I'd known earlier, I would have kidnapped Yan Yao to get the antidote instead of enduring that arrogant, vicious Qiao Wanyan for so long. Asterisk. He strode over and sat by the fire. Ziyuan jumped in surprise, then stood up angry Lai when she recognized him. What are you doing here? Where's Miss? Lu Jinyang said calmly. Lost track. She got away. Ziyuan snapped, useless wretch. Misbought you and showed you mercy by taking you in. You should be grateful. How dare you fail to protect her? Lu Jiani remained calm. You're her personal maid. Why did it too protect her? Ziyuan was furious, already plotting how to tattle to Miss tomorrow and have this insolent fool punished. How dare he offend the most trusted person by Miss' side? He's both blind and brainless. Asterisk. Lu Jiani glanced at her calculating expression, struck by how she looked like an Ashimer who couldn't quite scheme effectively. In his study, Yan Heng wrote a prescription while Chang and dozed off beside him, his head bobbing like a chicken pecking rice. When the candlelight dimmed, Yan Heng finally looked up from his book, massaging his temples to rest his eyes. Chang on. Chang and perked up. Young master, shall we go rest? Yan Heng looked out the window at the faint light outside, unclear through the translucent tiles. Isimionera Lestrinstry? Chang'an shook his head. Uncle Zhang and Aunt Zhang were already resting, and Changqing doesn't have time for sky lanterns. Following his master's gaze, Chang'an also saw the light. He stood up and walked to the window, flinging it open. His eyes widened. Whether from the sudden cold air or the scene outside, he pointed into the distance and stammered, Why, young M Master, it's on fire. By the time Yan Heng and Chang'an arrived, flames and smoke towered into the sky. The raging fire devoured every inch of Liu Guang Pavilion, the crackling of burning wood piercing. The blazing flames cast a magnificent glow on everything around them. Qiao Wanyan stood with her back to the inferno, her vivid red dress mirroring the fire, breathtaking and beautiful, almost preternaturally so. With a charming smile, she said, Young master, your home is gone. Chang and sucked in a sharp breath, nearly fainting. Yan Heng's expression remained calm, his demeanor composed. He should have been enraged enough to slice the smug, laughing woman into pieces for burning down the place he'd painstakingly protected. But for some reason, his mind was eerily tranquil, utterly calm. Not a ripple stirred in his heart. as if the blazing ruins before him belongs to someone else. Chang'an's legs gave way, and he collapsed to the ground, feeling deeply deceived by the woman who had seen, dedicated as gentle and less as a harm. White Lotus just days ago. How could she pull off such a shocking act? But with a face as beautiful as Miss Kiao's, Chang'an couldn't bring himself to blame her for the burned pharmacy. He furtively glanced at his young master, Tu Yunheng. Miss Yao was everything but beyond her. Nothing in the world mattered more than the study and pharmacy of Yaoshi Valley. Now that the pharmacy was gone, consumed by flames beyond savings, he feared for Miss Zhou's life. Asterisk, that pharmacy was his master's life's work. Asterisk, it's all burned, Yunheng said flatly. Chang'an swallowed hard, rising uneasily. Young master, the fire's too big to put out. Yunheng nodded faintly. His gaze landed on Qiao Wanyan as he walked towards her. His elegant, crane-like silhouette sent each step thudding, like a beat in Chang'an's chest. Qiao Wanyan's eyes shimmered, her light brown pupils reflecting the bright moon and his cool, otherworldly features. He was like the moon, yet more transcendent. In her eyes, his desireless gaze was destined for seeing meds, a life of seclusion in Aphrodite, like a divine being hidden in a pure, bright realms from storybooks. Unique in his white robes. Why burn this place? Yunheng asked. Her eyes, bright as starlight and clear as a lake, sparkled with defiance. You made me unhappy, so I burned your home. It was a straightforward, honest answer. In the capital, she never tolerated anyone who displeased her. If she couldn't act openly, she'd send capable servants to beat them into submission. She never wrong at herself. Yunheng said nothing, just studied her quietly. Her words were so entitled asterisk. You kidnapped me without my consent, and I still don't know why. You refused to explain or meet me. Just left me here to wait like some obedient prisoner. You think a single antidote pills can buy me off? What do you take me for? A disposable pawn on your chessboard? Yunheng remained calm, his ears filled with her clear, bird-like voice, so close. He could smell her subtle fragrance, air refreshing. Contrast to the medicinal odors of the valley, intriguing and novel. He thought maybe, when rebuilding the valley, a garden with roses might be nice. She waited for an explanation, but instead, he turned and left without a word. Qiao Wanyan? She suddenly decided the storybooks were wrong about Yunheng being merely asterisk unsocial asterisk. He was utterly clueless about human interaction, acting purely on whims without a care for consequences. Chang'an. He rushed after Yunheng. Young master? Where are you going? To rest. Chang'an protested, but young master, the pharmacy and so much else are burned. Yunheng replied, rebuild them, leave space in the front, courtyard and veranda for Egerton. Plant roses. Chang'an's forehead twitched. Asterisk, this calmness is unnatural. Asterisk, what was the point of his earlier panic? That Yunheng would kill Qiao Wanyan? And with this reaction, Hefe read she'd only grow more furious. They were raised in Yaoshi Valley, used to Yunheng's temperament, but outsiders would never adapt. If the pharmacy was burned, would the study be next? As he wondered, a fierce gust of wind brushed past. The next moment, Qiao Wanyan shoved Yunheng from behind. Her temper finally exploded. Asterisk mother was right. Ignoring someone is the cruel. A state revenge. Asterisk. When her father angered her mother would ignore him, leaving him so angsty she couldn't eat or sleep. But now Qiao Wanyan realized even she couldn't stand this cold violence from someone she didn't heaven-like. Asterisk, I should kill all who make me unhappy. Asterisk, she failed to budge Yunheng. She imagined pushing him off balance, pinning him down, and slapping his smug face for ignoring her. Screw. Befriending him for future help. Right now. She just wanted to slap this. Asterisk, pretentious bastard. Asterisk. In the storybooks, Qiao Yuan used Yunheng's shelp to save the crown prince from a strange poison, winning the empress' approval. But so what if she didn't friends with him? If the crown prince died, another would take his place. She could just target the next one. But now, despite her efforts, Yunheng hadn't moved an inch. Instead, she lost her balance and smashed her nose into his back, triggering Ano's bleeding. Tears spilled as she clutched her nose, looking like the world had wronged her. Yunheng turned his long, elegant fingers instinctively wiping her tears. The scorching touch sent ripples through his previously calm heart, disturbing it indefinitely. Qiao Wanyan felt warm th on her hands as she held her nose, bright, glaring blood. She froze, tilting her head back. Yunheng frowned, cupping her porcelain, like face to tilt it forward instead. He pressed one hand on her bleeding nostril and held the others beneath to catch the blood. She tried to move. She'd always been told to tilt her head back for nosebleeds. Was he retaliating? Stay still. His cold voice carried apathy. Breath across her face. Tilting your head back lets blood flow into your throat, causing coughing or even vomiting from irritating your stomach. She obeyed, watching as he hand led her nose to bleed up. Closed, his long lashes shadowed his eyes, and his hands trembled slightly, as if suddenly weak. Chang'an tensed at the blood on his master's hands, reaching for his handkerchief. Then remembering Yunheng's clean cleanliness, obsession and retreating. Asterisk ah. Asterisk Chang'an realized with a pang. His master's cleanliness obsession wasn't universal. Out vanished round Qiao Wanyan. Once the bleeding stopped, Yunheng released her. Follow me. Chang'an stayed behind as Uncle Zhang and Aunt Zhang rushed to help fight the fire, only to find it uncontrollable. They could only try to prevent it from spreading. In the study, Qiao Wanyan wiped her nose with a handkerchief, while Yunheng took out a small porcelain bottles. From a drawers, he poured water and urged her to take the pills inside. Blooded nourishing medicine, non-toxic. She held out one pill for him. First out after burning his home. She suspected he might want to poison her. Better safe than sorry. He eyed the pill, hesitated, then brought it to his mouth. Only two. Pause and sniff it. His frown deepened. Asterisk, this isn't blood-nourishing medicine. It's aphrodisiac. Asterisk. He knew instant lie who had replaced his pills. Only his sister. Io dared tamper with his things. She been begging to leave the valley. And when he refused, she resorted to pranks. But replacing medicine with aphrodisiac was crossing a line. He'd nearly let someone else take it. If Qiao Wanyan had swallowed it without hesitation, the consequences didn't bear thinking about. With the pharmacy burned and no more calming pills left, the situation could have been disastrous. When he tried to snatch the bottle, she stepped back. Why will you take it? The pills were clearly not what he claimed. His attempt to seize the bottle confirmed her suspicion. Yunheng hesitated, unsure how to explain. She never believed him anyway. I kidnapped you because Yan Yao is my sister. Ilan, she relies on you, so used you as bait to lure her back. She's skilled in poison. Force wouldn't work. This was the only way. Qiao Wanyan. Asterisk, who asked for this explanation. Asterisk. Why won't you take it? She pressed. He tried a different approach. If the yuking pill isn't enough, I'll leave the valley to treat you for as long as you need. With the pharmacy destroyed, he could offer other pills. His earlier, the promise of unlimited herbs was now impossible. Her expression softened. I'm not unreasonable. Since they're willing to make amends, I'll be lenient. He sighed in relief. She continued, I have an arrow scar on my shoulder. Used Wang Yu ointment, but it's still visible. Can you remove it completely? Her voice was soft and her gaze seductive, like a siren luring sailors to their doom. Yes, he said. I knew you were a kind person. Just bad at social easying. If I feel serious, lie ill. One day an ordinary doctors can't help. May I come to you? He nodded. Yes. She smiled radiant as ripples on a lake. No one would dare bully me. Yan Gongzi. What asterisk did you try to make me eat earlier? Aphrodisiac. The word slipped out before he could think. He froze, shocked by his own candor.